everybody, welcome to today's video, and today I'm going to be doing a review on my Nikon Coolpix S6800. I did a review on this camera a little over a year and a half ago. That video reached over 5,000 views, but the review itself just wasn't good quality. I was doing the review with my iPhone. I had just gotten back from a trip to the Dominican Republic, and I was all over the place and I wasn't accurate with the review for this camera, but I took that video down and I decided to give this review a second try. So let's go ahead and get started. I got my Nikon Coolpix the day before I left for the Dominican Republic, which was 2014, and I got this camera at Target. It was, I think, 60% off in the electronics section. So this camera was about, I think, $150, but the original price for this thing was about $279, and I don't think this camera is worth that much money, but you know, I was desperate for a camera before we went on vacation and I didn't have a good vlogging camera, so I just picked up the cheapest one, and this is what I got. Was the Nikon Coolpix S6800. As you see, the front of the camera, you just have the Nikon, you have the Coolpix, and you just have all the zoom in dimensions listed right along the lens area. You've got the whole millimeters or whatever. I don't know what any of that means, but it just tells you that this camera can zoom into about 12 times the original image, which is actually a fairly good zoom. But when you zoom into the object itself, it's not clear. It's all grainy and everything. But this camera does zoom in really well and fairly quickly, which was nice. This camera does have a flash. You can turn it on with these back features right here. You can see me in the background. Here you go. See, if you turn the camera around, you have the screen, you have the record button, the camera button, the playback button, and then you have all your options for the flash and the coloring of your photo or video. And this thing does have Wi-Fi capabilities, as you see down on the bottom, and then you have your delete section. And then right here you just have your spot. Ooh, while it's focused, let's do this. You have your spot for your cords to import your photos or to import your videos, and you can also charge using a cable that this camera comes with, but I do not have that cable with me right now. But yeah, it's easy access. It's just on the side of the camera, and then right here you have a little wristlet thing that you have on the side of your camera to keep your camera from falling off if you are taking a picture over a ledge or something. That way, if you drop it, it's not going anywhere. I also have that on the Canon G7X as well. And then up top you just have the power and the zoom and the flash capabilities all up here. Ta-da! And then here's what the camera looks like when you turn it on. See? Fairly good lens expansion, and it just, there we go. And as you see, there's a black spot right there. That's when I broke, well, I didn't break the camera, but this is when my camera fell on my camping trip way back when. I went vlogging and I dropped the camera, so now there's like a black spot, but that doesn't stop me. So yeah, the camera turns on really nice. It has an auto shut off after 30 seconds just to keep the battery from dying, which is actually really nice. The camera just turns itself off to prevent, you know, the battery from wearing down or from your camera dying. So that's a nice feature. This camera does have Wi-Fi capabilities. There is an app that you can download to airdrop videos and pictures from this camera to your iPhone or to your tablet, you know, stuff like that, which is really cool. I just found out about that a few months ago, and I actually like it, because then you don't have to, you know, get it onto your computer and to import it. That just takes time. You can just airdrop it, and it's really nice. This camera has fairly good quality in a natural sunlight and in artificial light like my bedroom. But then if you are in a low light quality room, or if you're just in like a dark room or somewhere where there's not much light, this camera does not have good focusing and, you know, just light perception. The video will look grainy, it'll look cloudy and fuzzy, and it's just not clear overall. it's just not very, very well done. And if you guys want to see an example, you guys can go watch pre-Punta Cana. I will have it linked up on the screen right here. I started vlogging the day I got this camera, and you can see in that video how grainy that footage looked when my room was dark, or when I was downstairs in my living room. It just wasn't well focused, and it was a pain in the butt, and I was just very, very, very disappointed with it. If you film or take pictures in like natural sunlight, like I said, or with like bedroom lighting, or I guess artificial lighting, that's what I believe it's called, everything is perfectly clear and well focused, and it was just really nice. I just had to make sure that I vlogged, you know, during the daytime or during lunchtime, you know, while the sunlight was still out. But then, you know, around 5 o'clock every single night I would have to end the vlog because it was getting dark, and my footage was just gonna have horrible quality after that. So that was the horrible, you know, part about this camera, is the focusing. This camera never autofocused, even though you had it in settings. You could change it to have manual focus or autofocus, but then when I was vlogging I would have to zoom in and then zoom out to get a clear shot, or to get, you know, a focused video clip. You know, the autofocus on this thing does not work at all. I don't know if it's something I did in the settings or whatnot, but just having to struggle with autofocus the entire time is freaking annoying. And you know, with my Canon G7X, this thing is always constantly autofocusing. You know, there isn't really a time where the camera is blurry or where a footage is grainy. It's just beautiful. But yeah, overall this camera has done me wonders. I have vlogged for a year and a half with this thing and haven't had much difficulty. If you do read the manual, that does help. It's always helpful because then you know how to work it, you know how to accommodate with it and stuff like that. But it wasn't a horrible camera, but I was just disappointed most of the time. You know, I obviously had to keep vlogging, you know, to keep my YouTube schedule in check, but you know, this camera did work, and it still does work, but you know, I moved on to a bigger and better camera. This camera is good if you are wanting to start vlogging for the first time. You will not struggle a lot with this camera. It does work, it does focus, you know, you just got to encourage it a little bit. Overall, I've been pretty happy with this camera. I do encourage people to buy it. You just have to, you know, kind of work with it, you know, learn how this camera works in certain lighting and stuff like that. So it's really not that difficult to use. I enjoyed it while I had it, but now I have a bigger and better camera called the Canon G7X, which is what I am filming with today in this video. But yeah, this is just a short, sweet little review. Comment down below if I missed anything out about this camera. Let me know if you do have this camera and what you think about this camera. I mean, I enjoyed this camera while I had it, but I am mostly in love with the Canon. I think that is all for my Nikon Coolpix review. Please hit like, comment, and subscribe. Obviously subscribe, guys. I am doing so well with my subscriptions, which is amazing, and I message you guys every single day on social media and stuff like that, and I just love communicating with you guys. It's just awesome. So please hit that subscribe button, follow me along my journey. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, this is the Nikon Coolpix S6800. Yeah, I will see you guys in 3 days. Goodbye.